Who's ready for an Overwatch 2 plot twist that they totally saw coming? Remember the reason why they made the game? The PVE, the story missions and everything? Nah. It ain't gonna happen. Probably not. But it's like a 99% probably not. Let's have a chat about it. Come on. The never-ending meme that Overwatch 2 is simply just Overwatch 0.5 or Overwatch 1.5 continues to ring true, as we just heard from the developers that they fear the story missions will be canceled. It's really not surprising. From the get-go, Overwatch 2 didn't seem to really have the drive and discipline to be something great. Doesn't feel like the team working on Overwatch 2 is trying to push things forward or make things right. It's not the same people that worked on Overwatch 1. The upper heads and the development team, they're all different people. We lost the heart and soul of Overwatch, and it's clear in the microtransactions in the shop, as much as you can argue against that, which that is shilling, but don't tell the shills that. I've been incredibly vocal since day zero that the microtransactions and the greedy predatory actions are not good for this game, and they've been awful. A lot of people say, well, other games do it. Overwatch isn't other games. Other games didn't sell 50 million copies and also loot boxes within Overwatch 1. And it's not like they had to spend too much to get Overwatch 2 going. And even if they did, where did it go? Because the only big addition was supposed to be the PVE story-based stuff. They already canceled the hero mode, which was going to be the biggest change in gameplay, in that you can have like RPG elements and change the way heroes work and everything, and like an upgrade system, like a leveling system. That got canned a long time ago. So where did all the money go from Overwatch 1 to where they need to ask for an arm and a leg for anything in Overwatch 2? I have no idea. I get that you love this game, and when you love something, you feel the need to defend it, but you can also try to better it. It's not your child, it's not your baby, it's just something that you want to support, but you can support it and also acknowledge when it's wrong, because when you don't do that, you continue to endorse bad behavior, and that's why they keep putting these crap in the store. You keep buying these skins that aren't worth $25 to $50, and that tells Blizz that you like it. Now, maybe you do like that. Maybe money's not a thing for you, and you just don't care. But using other games as an excuse for them to be predatory is just, it makes no sense. And not every game is that predatory anyways. Plenty of games give away free currency. This game gives you like 60 credits a week or something. That's not going to get you anything in the store, not one thing. You'd have to play for years before you can get something. I'm not going to do the actual math because I'm not a freaking nerd. I'm sorry. Someone's done the math, trust me. Hold up, another plot twist. This one I definitely didn't see coming. They just announced they'll be adding credits to the Battle Pass. Probably to help avoid all the bad PR because of all this PvE information being leaked right now. But still, good news nonetheless. It's nice to see that they might be fixing the Battle Pass woes. These seemingly big improvements to the Battle Pass and the monetization in the game are due to people speaking out. So you might be angry that I could ever say anything bad about dear old Blizzard, but when we speak against the bad decisions, they're aware of them, and they know they can't get away with them as much. So this is a big W that they're doing something right for the first time in the history of Overwatch 2. This is it. This is number one, where it's over a year old and we finally hit that mark. Better late than never. Some of this could be due to Bobby Kotick leaving Blizzard, which is definitely a good thing. The guy, I don't want to say too much about him personally, that seems messed up, but he didn't seem like he had the game's best interest at heart, or the community especially. We should celebrate these upcoming changes, but at the same time try to push them to do something about the story missions. If the devs are scared and they're leaking information like this, you know, if it comes out to be true, the player base should be frustrated. They should know now that canceling it would be a bad idea. You're scamming people with that. That is a long-term scam and a con, unless they give the refunds. That's not going to be the first or the last time I say this in this video. If they give those $40 refunds, we should be chilling. Although people's hopes are crushed. And I'm fully aware the Watchpoint pack didn't promise PvE, but the assumption was Overwatch 2 would feature PvE, and that's the whole reason that it exists. So anybody that bought that pack going into Overwatch 2, especially for that beta access, was conned. Their promises were not kept. Don't get it twisted. Now back to what I was talking about. Sorry, had to update. This came out of freaking nowhere. But that doesn't mean we weren't promised things from the very beginning. People have been patient enough and waited so long for anything to do with PvE. It turns out they were planning to release like 3 story missions every 18 months. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Nobody's gonna wait 18 months. The player interest died out immediately for PvE anyways. 3 months in, people were complaining about it. A week in. 2 weeks prior, when they announced that it wasn't even going to be in the game yet, people were complaining about it. The whole point of deleting Overwatch 1 was that Overwatch 2 would be a vast improvement, and in reality, they've just taken away more than they've given. You lost a whole player slot, we've lost game modes, we've got some game modes, but they're universally kind of hated. I personally am, they're whatever to me. I still prefer Escort and Hybrid. I think those modes just work the best for the gameplay that Overwatch is seemingly supposed to be. Now, I understand Overwatch 2 went for a more faster gameplay approach, something more akin to like Call of Duty lobbies and everything, whereas in Overwatch 1 was a lot more methodical, so maybe that's why those game modes are preferred. I don't care as long as I can play Chappie all day. That's, at this point, he's the only character I can have any fun with, which is fine. I mean, it's a little lame that there's however many characters in Overwatch, and yet I only really enjoy the gameplay of one, but it's just because I'm dug in. I've been playing for so long. I'm tired, Pa. That's too damn bad. I don't care if there's no player interest in the PvE. You could say that all day long. The devs can say it. The publisher can say it. You guys can say it. It doesn't matter. It was still promised, and to potentially be losing that, we heard this from the devs, by the way. They said they fear that it will be canceled, which has kind of been a fear from the very beginning because it never seemed to be foolproof. It never seemed like they actually cared to get it out to people. You should do what you said you were going to do. There's still an active player base. We all say the game is dying, but that's only because it should be dying. With the way they treat players and their esports, like they did, like dissolved everybody, paid everybody like $1 million off to go change everything out of the blue. The lack of content, the game should be dying by all means, but the only reason it's not is because there's nowhere else to get the gameplay. There's no other game that competes with it. Some people will cry Paladins. Me personally, I don't think Paladins adds up to the same gameplay level of Overwatch. Overwatch is amazing. I love playing it. It's super... Now, I know I just said I love playing Chappie, but I love playing against specific people, not Sombra right now. Sombra's freaking annoying right now. I still love shooting those heroes in the face and melting them with one quick turret. I can't get enough of it. It's some of my favorite gameplay ever. Essentially, I have nowhere to go when I want a shooter. It's my favorite shooter on the market, and that's the only reason it's not dying. It would honestly take one good, well-crafted game to take the same idea, 5v5, 6v6 hero shooter, and make it fun, with no predatory microtransaction shop, and probably some PvE, and you're cooking with grease, son. I mean, you got a stew going, baby. I'm not saying I would like Overwatch to be a thing of the past. Quite the opposite. I'd love to see them do a full U-turn and do something right for once, but Blizzard's not really known for that. They're known for continuously falling upwards, which is kind of the way that AAA studios work now. They continue to make sales off of lackluster products. People continue to go out of their way to buy these things, even though there's red flags all over them. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. No one should have bought that game, yet everyone did, and then we're like surprised Pikachu face when it was a flaming pile of garbage. The way that Overwatch has been just completely abused is absurd. It's one of the greatest IPs of all time, and they can't seem to get it right. There's never any kind of praise for it unless you're one of the bigger YouTubers who get a goddamn hard-on for any balance change. Like, it's not that deep, dude. It's sometimes cool when it's enough to change gameplay, and sometimes it's Sombra just killing me whenever she wants. Truth be told, Sombra's not that bad now. You just have to, like, focus her and play together more, and even then, when she gets her ult super quickly, there's not much you can do. A good Sombra can just run a lobby. It's like every game is either Sombra or Tracer most of the time. Once you get to like higher levels and your MMR gets really high, you're going to be facing a lot of Tracers and Sombras, and it is obnoxious. I believe they're in like every single person for the top 500's like roster of heroes. I'm not sure what it's going to take for people to walk away from Overwatch. When they inevitably do cancel this PvE and scrap it all together, at least the story-based stuff, I'm sure they'll do those crappy limited time PvE events that are fun for once and then never again, unless you're trying to grind out the free skins, the blue rarity skins or whatever, and then the one legendary if you play for 1,000 hours, crap like that. But every live service game does that anyways. It's not really a knock on them. They just want you to only play their game for a certain amount of time. I get it. But the people that have been waiting on this story-based stuff, I imagine this could be the final straw. They'll probably start kicking rocks down the road and be done with it. Again, I'm in it for the PvP. I always have been. I wanted to try the PvE and the story-based stuff. I thought it could be fun, especially with some friends. But I think you gotta just close out that pipe dream. It's not gonna happen. And in total, all we ever got was 3 story missions. I'm sure there's some people out there that would have paid full price for a spin-off game with story-based stuff. They don't care. They just want to keep farming the free V-Bucks off of unsuspecting victims in their microtransaction shop because it works. They say the consumers are supposed to protest with their wallets and not buy anything, but the whales don't really listen, and the shills, they've been dug in since 2016. They're going to keep buying it and supporting their bad purchases, and I'm sorry, you know, the consumer's allowed to do whatever they want with their money. Don't you have enough skins? Like, I don't really care what the toxic side of Overwatch thinks about my opinions on predatory microtransactions. You can hate me all you want. You were going to hate no matter what. The second you click on any negative information about Overwatch, you were prepared to fire shots. That's totally fine. That's your prerogative. You pick something to defend, enjoy your soapbox. Even so, I assume you would probably agree that the people that paid for the $40 bundle at the launch of Overwatch 2 have been completely robbed. This is the very definition of false advertising. They paid money. Unless they issue some refunds when they cancel it, there's really no justifying the decision to cancel it. Those people were straight robbed. You can't even argue it. It's just greed. At the end of the day, Blizzard is the kings of greed. I mean, they're competing with the Nintendo. I don't know if anybody beat Nintendo. I mean, they're really bad too. I'm not sure what else I could say about this, but the comment section exists for a reason, baby. So why don't you jump down in there and let me know how stupid I am. Although I'm sure you already did before you even started the video or didn't watch the video at all. That's always a strategy. Either way, we can still try to have a civil discussion about this. Maybe you have a totally valid reason for why they should cancel PVE or that the microtransactions in the game aren't predatory at all. Let me know. Maybe we can try to talk this out like adults. Although I'm sure I dug my grave by admitting that I'm a Bastion main. That's who Chappie is. Now you know. Bye. A quick update for you guys with what's going on in my life. You may notice I'm not streaming as much anymore. That's because my son is going to be born soon, and I have to prioritize time with him and my wife because I want to. I'm really excited. It's something I've wanted to do my entire life, be a father since I was 5 years old. I'm still going to try to put out 1, 2, maybe sometimes 3, I don't know, videos on YouTube. YouTube is something that I've been doing my entire life as well. You can check the date of the channel. It goes back like 15 years or something. I've been uploading what some would say god-awful content the entire time. Some would argue against that. Thank you. I love you guys. I think it's gotten better over time, and I don't really want to stop. It's the career that I would love in life, and I'm doing my best to make that happen, to just keep growing the community and having fun while I grow my family outside of YouTube. But I'm still going to be here every week with no set day because I'm terrible like that. The videos will keep coming as long as there's video game news to report on, especially stuff that I love like Overwatch. I love Overwatch. And then other exposés. I'm working on a really fun one right now. The next video after this one should be great. It's something I'm passionate about. It's a passion project, baby. YouTube's all about passion. And I'm rambling, so I'm just gonna do this.